Very cool. So for those who aren't familiar with Prizeout, how does it work today, and what's it like from the user perspective?
Sure, I can walk you through a typical user flow, and I'll use a gig economy. I'll
All
use
right,
one of our
perfect.
partners. I'll use
That's
Waitr.
relevant.
Are you familiar with Waitr?
Yeah,
Cool. So if you're a driver on Waitr and you drive for the week and you make $100, let's
they're
say.
just a regular online food delivery company, right? For those who don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And you get $100 and it's sitting in your account and you want to withdraw that to
Hmm.
yourself, right? You have options. You could do PayPal, ACH, physical check.
Yeah.
Prize out is a withdrawal option as well. The only difference is you don't get your money in cash, you get it in the form of a gift card. Why
Hmm.
would somebody want their money in the form of a gift card? It's because our merchants, we have over 1,000 of them, give you extra value. So
Hmm.
if you're withdrawing $100, maybe Domino's gives you an extra 5%, or maybe Doordash gives you an extra 10%, or JetBlue gives you 15%, or whatever it might
Yeah.
be. The consumer's getting more money, right?
Hmm.
Um, so that's great for the consumer. The reason why Waitr and all of our partners like us is because every time someone withdraws through PayPal, ACH, et cetera, there's a cost to them in terms of
Hmm.
processing fees. We actually do a rev share with them.
Hmm.
So not only are they eliminating a cost, they're turning it actually into revenue, right?
Yeah.
So to summarize, the drivers get more for their money.
Hmm.
Waitr monetizes something they're losing, right?
Yeah.
So how are we able to do this? How are we able to kind of be Oprah and give everyone money and still have a viable business,
You get a
right?
car. You get a car.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when that consumer clicks on the prize out button, our partners pass a limited amount of information, right?
Yeah.
Age, gender, location, et cetera, right?
Hmm.
And like I said, we have over 1,000 merchants, but we end up only showing 26. So what
Hmm.
happens, those merchants actually compete against each other in a real-time
Mm.
auction. We say, here's a 26-year-old male driver in
Hmm.
Florida withdrawing $100. Who wants that $100, right?
Hmm.
So the merchants say, I do, I do, I do, and they're bidding against each other.
Interesting.
So the person, we get a portion, our partners get a portion, but the person that really walks away the winner, that we give the majority of it to, is the consumer, is to the driver, right?
Yeah.
So the driver's walking away with, on average, 11% more value. So in
Wow.
that case, withdrawing $100, they're getting $111. And that could be anywhere from grocery stores to get gas stations to
Yeah.
school supplies or Christmas presents or whatever it
Hmm.
might be. And we're in everything from gaming to insurance to payroll to governments, and to gig economy.
Yeah.
The reason why I think gig economy especially is kind of near and dear to my heart is because if you're a win money playing betting on the Yankees or the Celtics or whatever it might be, and you get more for your money, that's great.
Hmm.
But for gig drivers and employees, getting that 11% to
Yeah.
gasoline, groceries, or things that matter in their everyday
Yeah.
life is a huge deal. So it's something we're particularly proud of.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty cool. And, I always recall this story of this event that we partnered with a company on, and we had it in a parking lot. This was early on, and we didn't realize that, it was a paid parking lot. And I think it was $3 to park. And so drivers all showed up and they were kind of pissed about this $3. And one guy emailed me after the event and he said, I showed up, it was $3 to park. So I turned around and went home. And I was like, oh man, I'm sorry about that. You probably wasted more time and, money and time and gas, right? But I think like understanding, right, that mindset of a gig worker, it's not necessarily right that it's like, wow, this $3 is just, like every penny counts, right? You're a business owner. You got to think about your income. You got to think about your expenses. So it's interesting, and we're definitely going to dig into kind of, kind of how the gig economy fits into your business and what your experience has been like with these folks. I'm curious though, on the merchant side. So you mentioned some of, your, I guess, folks on the merchants that you work with. You mentioned gas. What are some of the bigger or most popular merchants that have floated up to the top on your platform?
Yeah, it's fascinating, right? So, like I said, we're in everything from government to gaming to crypto to
Hmm.
gig, right? Depending on the vertical you come from, it's a very different purchasing behavior,
Mm.
right? So if you're coming from gaming or crypto, it's very much kind of
And so
found.
these would be what you call partners, right? Like the
Yep, those
government, the
would be
gaming.
partners.
Okay.
Yep. So that's where you're withdrawing from, right?
Right.
So that's very much like I did not expect this money, so I'm going to
Hmm.
treat myself. I'm going to
Mm.
buy something that I would not normally have, right? But things
Got
like
it.
payroll and gig economy, it's much more, this is what I live off of, right?
Mm,
I'm going to get a cup of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts anyway. I might as well get some extra value. Or I need gasoline. I might as well get
hmm.
extra value there. Or
Yeah.
groceries, everyday necessities of their lives, right?
Gotcha.
So
That's interesting. Makes
yeah,
sense for sure. Okay. So they see the merchants, and then you mentioned the partners. What are some of your more popular, I guess, partners, right? We'll talk about gig economy in a second, but there are any other? You mentioned gambling a couple times. That's kind of a cool one, I
yes,
guess.
we're partners with companies like Paddy Power. We're
Okay.
partners with DraftKings.
Got it.
We're partners with Coinbase, right? So
Nice.
we're partnered with governments. We do jury duty payments.
Hmm.
We partner
Nice.
with cities to do vaccine incentives,
Hmm.
right? So you get vaccinated and you get $100, and then you take that $100 and you can pick a gift card. And the
Yeah.
reason why governments love us is because not only do we have the Amazons of the world, but we also have the mom and pop shops and
Yeah.
everything between. So if you're a government, for instance, we just partnered with Oneida County. They're giving
Hmm.
$100 to get vaccinated. So we kind of do two things for Oneida. One is we're incentivizing people to get vaccinated by giving them a gift card, right?
Yeah.
But they can go on and choose a local business. So not only are you incentivizing vaccines, but you're
Right.
also stimulating the local economy, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a gig worker, you can not only get Amazon, but you could get the cafe around the street as well.
Yeah, very interesting. So what sort of first got you interested in the gig economy? I'm assuming it somehow popped onto your prize out radar, either with a lot of users or partners, or
Yeah,
what
the sheer size, it's massive,
yeah.
right? There's so much money flowing out of it in terms of
Hmm.
what they pay drivers, right?
Yeah.
Uber's pays tens of billions of dollars to their drivers a year,
Yeah.
right? So all that money flowing out, two things. One, Uber typically pays processing fees for that to come out. We
Hmm.
could pay Uber a rev share off of that. So not only are they
Right.
eliminating cost, now they're turning it to revenue. But more importantly, all that money, the drivers can amplify their earnings. Like I said,
Hmm.
on average, we give 11% more, right?
Yeah.
So that's something, while obviously our goal is to make money, but to
Hmm.
give 11% more purchasing power to
Yeah.
drivers and gig workers, that's a pretty cool thing to do.
Yeah, no, and I'll be honest. I mean, it is 11% is sizable. I feel like a lot of times, you see cash back of 1%, or it's like shocking, groundbreaking, right? If you're getting
Yeah.
like 2%, right? And sometimes with the gas apps, it's more like 5%, but it might be at an expensive gas station, right? And kind of offsets that, right? And so I think the, sort of average 11% number is definitely intriguing. I do imagine for folks in the gig economy, they're probably not going to want to cash out all of their paycheck into gift cards. Some they obviously probably want cash. What have you seen there as far as the breakdown? Is it, they want half or a quarter or a lot? I could actually see some drivers, frankly, like a lot of drivers, they take their $1,000 that they make every week and they got to spend it on things. So, the sort of, probably the ones like me, to be honest, who are kind of like very meticulous, and you'll probably build a spreadsheet and they're like, oh, here's, all my expenses and here's what I could spend it on. And here's how much more I can make. I bet some are doing it, but what have you seen on average with the gig folks?
It's a great question. Only 3.8% of people actually withdraw their entire amount,
Hmm.
right? So like you said, right, it's like, I know that I'm spending money at the coffee shop, right?
Yeah.
If I get extra bonus value on it, why would I not use it, right? I
Right.
know that I have to get gasoline. If I can get bonus value on it, why wouldn't I do that? I need to buy
Hmm.
groceries, so forth and so forth, right? But
Yeah.
you don't have gift cards where you can pay your rent and things like
Hmm.
that.
Right.
So, or your
Not
car.
yet, at least.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, so it's always a portion of their pay. It's never the entire amount.
Got it. And what do you think are the most popular outlets, or I guess like merchants that you would call them in the gig economy that they're using?
Definitely gasoline and
Gas.
definitely food. And then obviously Amazon is popular because you can
Hmm.
pretty much buy anything on Amazon as well.
Yeah.
But it's, in terms of local, it's definitely more restaurants, things
Hmm.
that you would, if you can treat yourself to go to a restaurant and get, an extra 15 or 20% or something like that,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool, whether it's taking your girlfriend out or something like that.
Hmm.
So it's definitely food, gasoline, and everyday necessities like your coffee shop, whether it's Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean,